from the westernunion.com VIP Lounge.
Bellator 165 happens this Saturday, SAP Center. Benson Henderson, of course, the title is on the line. San Jose, huge fight crowd there. Some of your favorite places to fight?
Absolutely, one of my favorite places to fight would be San Jose.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough, I fought in San Jose at the Shark Tank before, and I was lucky enough to be able to propose to my wife there, so I have a lot of fond memories of the place. I'm going to make sure this time's special also.
So the proposal, you didn't do it between rounds, did you?
Not between rounds, right after the last round.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So you said, I want to go to Bellator for other opportunities. I'm thinking about my family. How does the family play into everything? And I'm asking because I always said after I got married, you're my everything. I could walk away from radio. I did for a second. Actually, I got fired. And I was just with her alone, and I was miserable. I was like, I got to go back. I got to do what I do. Could you walk away from this and just be happy with your family?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
If I could walk away, per world scenario, just walk away, just my wife, myself, my son, I'm good to go.
Really? So then what are we doing this for?
Deserted island, no problem.
Yeah. So, how important is this title shot for you for Bellator? Obviously, former UFC lightweight champion, but this is Bellator now.
Yeah, huge. This is a career-defining moment right here. At a certain point in your career, you reach your stage where every fight is the biggest fight of your life, the biggest fight of your career. That's where I'm at right now. This fight is the biggest fight of my life, the biggest fight of my career. Career-defining, 3-time world champion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get it.
So when you first came over to Bellator, I'm a huge fan. When you first came over, I was like, wait, what happened? There was that loss. Is when you look back at it, or when you look at any loss, do you say, I wasn't in shape, it was my mental game, I wasn't there mentally, or do you say the other fighter got the better of me that day?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, a lot of fighters always end up trying to say, oh, well, it was this, I did this, and I did this, and they don't give enough credit to their opponent. I take my hats off to Andre. He threw me a whooping. I take it like a man, take it on the chin, and get back up, dust yourself off, and get back at it again. So I'd say, I absolutely didn't perform my best, but I didn't perform my best because he didn't allow me to perform my best. So I did a good job to Andre, and he did a good job, man.
Chandler says he's in the best shape of his life. Are you?
Yes, I'm always in the best shape of my life, and he needs to be.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Conor McGregor Saturday, he post-conference was saying that, you know what, there's not a moment that I'm not thinking about this. I'm always on top. You do have a family. Do you ever stop thinking about MMA, give it a break for a little while, or do you have to constantly be on it mentally and physically to be prepared for the next fight?
Myself personally, I think I'm a little bit of a different person. I love my family way more than I love fighting. So they're the first and foremost on my mind. Fighting's cool. I like it. I enjoy it. Pays the bills, all that fun stuff, But I'm able to win world championships. I'm able to win a couple of them and do good and have a great career. But my family comes first.
Yeah. Speaking of paying the bills, Conor McGregor also is now saying, look, I've got 2 titles. Pay me what I'm worth, and that means I want to own a part of UFC. And I was kind of torn on that. I was like, well, like in radio, if someone on our station has a hit song, you don't then just own part of Wild 94.9. We're just a platform where you can come in, make a lot of money, and leave. However, I feel like you fighters bring a lot, and I know traditionally with UFC, the fighters aren't often taken care of. The proof is in how much it's brought up. But how do you feel about someone asking for a piece of the actual company?
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he says, you want to come? Yeah, he
That's
says, I got my 2 belts. I'm going home to enjoy my family. You got to come to me and talk because now I want a piece of this, meaning I want a piece of the company. Some people are saying there'd be a conflict of interest because then if you or other fighters you're training are fighting and you partially own it, how would that work? But what do you think of his stance? He's saying, come talk to me or I'm not coming back.
I have to think about that. I mean, obviously, from the fighter standpoint, I'm always for fighters. I'm advocate for fighters and us being treated fairly, better than we have been treated in the past. But as far as being owner, but then again, if you're always giving your way, you're never told no as a child. You're gonna grow up to be kind of a a spoiled brat, and that's kind of how he is now. He gets his way a lot of times from the UFC, and if that's the case, awesome, good for him. Congratulations, that's awesome. Well, I have to think about that though. I don't know how being a part owner as a fighter, you couldn't be a part owner as a player. Also, that'd be. Oh, Michael Jordan did it for the Wizards, right? He was part owner.
Yeah,
he
that's
was
why
with the Wizards.
That's why I say I like.
Interesting. I don't know, man.
I go back and forth, but I mean, would there be anything left of the UFC? I mean, you were huge name in UFC, and then you got Liddell and Hughes and Couture and Silva. There would be nothing left if everyone got a piece of it while they're in there just kicking ass like this.
Yeah, I don't know. Revenue sharing is a piece of the profit of everything you sell and the viewership and all that, yada yada yada. But as far as like actual owner of the company, I don't know. That's doesn't seem exactly the big movie stars and whatnot. They don't own a part of MGM. They don't own a part of Paramount.
Yeah.
They get a huge slice of the revenue that's created, but they don't actually own the company. I don't know. That's weird.
And I'm sorry to get into all the business part of it, but there's a lot of people talking about this right now. Is it fair to at least sit down at the table and say, look, I know you're projected to make this much, and I want 40% of it this time? I mean, that's fair, right? I don't know about 40%, but I'm just throwing out a percentage.
I would for sure say it's fair as far as I would use the boxer model. Look at how much money Floyd Mayweather gets. He gets a piece of the gate. He gets a piece of every T-shirt sold. He gets a piece of the popcorn, all the alcohol that's sold at the stadium. So like that's smart. That's a way to look at it. But I mean, a lot of times guys go back on the precedent. Okay, well, this is set. We do it this way. We do it this way. But there's all other models you can look at. I'd maybe look at the boxing model, and boxers making some ton of money. Mayweather in one fight has made more than the entire UFC roster makes in 2016. So I'd maybe take a look at that.
And as fans, we're only watching like Conor after the fight saying, now you come talk to me. But as a fan, I'm like, is it him actually sitting down at the table? And when you were talking with Bellator and you said, oh, wow, this is a good company and they're treating me right. Is it you, or do you have a pit bull manager that's like in there fighting for everything he can get for you?
Just because the length I've been in the sport and how long I've been around, it was me personally. I've done a few negotiations and talked to a few people. So it was me personally who worked out my deal with Bellator. They were super honest, upfront, great guys. So I was pretty okay with doing the deal myself. I had input from a lot of other people. It wasn't just me by myself. I know I'm smart enough to realize I'm not that smart. So I had help with me in there.
So again, the title is on the line. Chandler, talk about him. What do you see in him as a fighter?
Chandler's tough. I don't think he's really super spectacular in one great area. Not a great wrestler as far as MMA wise. Not a has good hands, has good knockout power, that sort of stuff. Not great jiu-jitsu. Just tough guy. Been around. He's a veteran of the sport. Has a lot of experience. He's been in some 5-round wars before. So it should be a good tough fun fight.
It feels like you're saying, yeah, he's here. He's not here with me. Is that what you're saying?
Nah, he's good. He's tough. He's gonna try and prove otherwise, but I'm gonna make sure that's not the case.
Okay. So on our station, we talk to a lot of ladies. For the ladies that haven't yet gone out to SAP Center to see something like this, why would this appeal to ladies as well? Or does it in your mind? Does your wife, if you weren't fighting, is your wife into MMA?
If I'm not fighting, my wife is in the MMA, yes. She is a high-level brown belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
I didn't know that.
herself.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a 3-time world champion, 2-time world champion.
Is this known by all your fans, by the way?
Some.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, some.
Right.
Yeah. She's a 2-time world champion, really high-level, really good. She's caught me twice now, legitimately.
Really?
Yeah. So she's really good. She trains the fight teams, like our professional fight team. Big old fighters who she weighs 150 pounds. She catches them. She's really good. She's really tough. She is in the MMA. There's the whole women's side of MMA has blown up. I know Gilbert Melendez's wife is having her MMA debut. She's had a couple of kickboxing events, fights before, but this is her first MMA debut. So I think the women are getting into it.
Yeah.
Women understand what it is to fight also. It's not just men who understand what it is to fight. Women have to fight for their parking spots. They have to fight for their kids. They got to fight for their jobs. They got to fight for their husbands, their boyfriends sometimes. So
and isn't it awesome?
They like to scrap too.
Isn't it awesome to see that they are headlining many times? Like that they're the main event sometimes in a packed crowd.
I like it. I like it. I'm all for it. I'm pretty liberal individual. I'm probably a bigger feminist than a lot of women are sometimes. So I like seeing all that stuff, though, the equality of it.
You mentioned liberal. Should fighters ever give their take on politics?
If you are informed and actually know what you're talking about, go ahead. If you just read like 2 headlines, maybe like I should read up a little bit more about it. But if you're informed, as all American citizens should be, then go ahead. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, not really. It should be that way, but it seems like half of your fan base, maybe half of your fans are going, Henderson, we need you to speak out here, man. This seems like an injustice. Will you? You have this platform. You have all this audience here waiting, and then you give your view, and then it's like half of your fans turn on you over it. I know I've experienced it.
Yeah. No matter what you say, you could... It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. You could be the juiciest, tastiest, ripest peach in the world. There's still going to be suckers out there who just don't like peaches and hate peaches for some reason, So that's just the way it goes.
Wait, I'm trying to catch that. What was it again? It was peaches,
yes.
Juiciest.
If you're the juiciest, tastiest, ripest, most delicious peach in the world,
yes,
there's still going to be people out there who hate peaches.
That's
who don't like
gotcha.
Peaches.
Got it.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Like you can say all the right things. You can use your platform. You can say this. You can do this. There's still going to be some people who just hate that for whatever reason. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So Benson Henderson, Bellator 165 SAP Center, Ticketmaster. If you can make it, go. Ticket starting at only $30. We can also watch it where?
Spike TV Live.
Spike TV Live. I know you're going to do it. This is a win. Are you guaranteeing a win?
Every time I step into the cage, I always know I'm going to get my hand raised. Absolutely.
All right. Awesome.